All right, good morning, everybody. We are back in action. The website had, or the YouTube channel had gotten taken down, um, and I was kind of really disappointed there for a little bit. But we submitted to have them look at it again, and they said that we were not in violation of anything doing this, so they put me back in. So hopefully that won't happen again. Sorry about that. I was hoping to at least start off strong with a video a day, and we had to skip a day because the channel got shut down. But anyway, we're back. So we're going to start in Denver. I always start in Denver with a 500-mile search radius is what I'm starting with today. Sometimes I'll change that up, but today that's where we're at. And the first one, I'm telling you, this is a good one. First one right there on the screen. Check that out. 64 and a half Mustang convertible. 289 4-speed. This is a very desirable car, and he's right on the money at 10.5. I think that I still think there's a little bit of room here though. So I think without doing much of anything, I think this could be. I think you could talk him down to 10 and even 10, and I think you could get 12.5 for the car. The way it sits, maybe even 13. Um, just because these are getting hard to find. It wouldn't take much. Luckily, the parts are cheap on this thing, so unfortunately, this guy acts like he's posting up in the newspaper where they charge you per picture or something because he only put two pictures for a Mustang. But I'm assuming that he just thinks that that's all it's going to take. But looks like it was an original red car, so red with white interior, 4-speed on the floor, highly desirable. This is a great setup. The only thing better is if it would have been a GT, but I don't think that you're going to find those for this kind of money. Obviously, it's going to need a top. Looks like it's going to need a top. And I wish he'd at least take pictures of the other side to see if it was pony interior. I don't think it is, but I would add new seat covers to this thing. I think running, driving with presentable interior and a nice operating top, this should bring about 15. So I don't think I don't think it would hurt to do that, and I think that you'd be in the money on that one. But again, I think you could sell it the way it is with 12.5. So investing in a top and interior and all that stuff to get 15 when you can get 12.5 for it the way it sits, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on if you want to drive it for a while and then flip it. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, 68 Chevelle. Let's see what we got here. It's gonna need quarter panels. Gonna need everything. Oh, geez. Yeah, that one's rough. I think I would skip that. Lincoln Navigator. Wonder why. Usually these are because their motor is shot. 2 grand and selling 2,000 because it didn't want to turn it. Not sure. Okay, so let's try searching something different here. 1968, just to kind of get a fresh batch of vehicles. Oh, let's see here. Suburban. 65 is kind of high, but it is has 3/4 ton axles, but it says it's a half ton on the door. Did it say it was a half ton? I didn't catch that. Let me see. Yeah, it's a 10. It says it's a 10. So 10 should be a half ton, but it has 3/4 ton axles underneath it. Yeah, 3/4 ton axles. Body damage and rust. Okay, let's see what kind of. Whoa, jeez. I got a whole bucket of mud in the quarter panel there. Uh, That might be good for a hunt rig or something, but I don't think it's worth 65. Holy moly. I think this thing was rolled or something. Good gravy. That's kind of cool. Did you guys see that? That's an auxiliary fuel tank. It's cool until you have to fill it up and the whole interior smells like gas. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, that ain't worth 65, I don't think. Here we go. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. A nice looker. Even if this does have rust in the floorboards or something, this is a good looker. This is a good driver. Yeah, it's got a little bit of rust here, but I'm not sure why they painted it that blue. That's a weird blue. As you can see, it's got rust in the rockers here, which is common. It's probably got rust in the floorboards, especially this one here. Um, but it is a four-speed car. Yeah, I think that's all the money on this one, but yeah, you could definitely drive that for a summer and tinker with it. I would rip out this carpet. I'd put black carpet in it, redo the seats. I bet you get 15 to 18 just by redoing some of the interior here and nothing else. That's provided it runs good and all that. Yeah, I'm sure it's got rust in the trunk. Not too terrible though. Well, there's your seat right there. Is that a that's a front bench seat. That's interesting. Yeah. All right, let's move on here. Yeah, see, here's one that's done, fully restored for 23. Did that have a center console? Did I see that? It does. Nice. That's a center console car. That's a nice one there. Actually, I think there's room on this one. Yep. Again, I would try and talk them down 2 grand. That's kind of my that's kind of my play there is if I can talk them down a couple of grand, that would be what I would try and do is try and talk them down a couple of grand and then get a couple of grand on top of it. So I think it's worth 25 to 28. I think 30's pushing it, but it could bring that kind of money. I don't think the market's there anymore, but it definitely could bring above 25. So, it does have the look. It's got the motor, it's got the detail under the hood. It has the low mileage going for it. Now, see, that's a funky yellow there, but that's not what it looks like in the rest of the pictures. It's a little bit weird. I wonder if it were overexposed. If it's this yellow, that I would say then yes. But if it's the yellow in the pictures outside, I would say no. Yeah, there's a big difference between the two, but I'm pretty sure that that is just overexposed. That looks more realistic to me right there. That's a good car. Yeah, as long as everything checks out on this thing and it's as clean as it looks, I'd say you're in the money. And if you could talk them down, that's just more money in your pocket. I think you can get this one. Let's say you get it for 22, talk them down to 22. Let's say you get it for 22 and you can sell it for 27. That's 5 grand, drive it for the summer. I think you're good. I think you're golden on that. That's a sweet deal. Yeah, that one's a good one. Oh, here's one, a GT. Yeah. Oh, 429, four speed. Nice. No title. Dang it. Yeah. We can get that from 10 to 12. I think you'd be golden on this one. These 429 four-speed Torinos are bringing some big money now. Hmm. And again, I don't think I'd do a obviously, anytime you do a full restoration on something, unless it's a super, super rare car, you just not bring it. They just don't bring the money. I think I would recover the seats, clean it up, put a new floor in it, get rid of all the extra parts, put them all in the trunk or something, clean up all this, get it running, make it something that runs, stops, goes, turns. Obviously it still has the shaker. Put the shaker hood back in it, put a set of tires on it, and uh, and send it on down the road for 18 to 22, I think. I think a running driving one in halfway decent shape would be 18 to 22. It doesn't look like it has too much body rust. It does say it needs floors, but depending on how bad those are, um, I think there's money to be made on this one. So, but yeah, with no title, you got some work you got to do there, and yeah, I think he's kind of in the money, but I'd want to be at 12 at the most on this. But if you're at 12 and just cleaning it up, putting some seat covers in there and new carpet, that doesn't take nothing but an afternoon to do that. Get it running, driving. Yeah, yeah, I think you'd be close to 20. Yeah, it's not a home run, but it's definitely worth it. Here we go. 68, 327 four-speed. Shifts good, see more. I need ignition. I'm selling because I don't drive enough. Push minister. Sold as is. Must be deleted. Ah, clicked on the wrong thing. Looks like somebody's had that motor out. Let's see, they did a hillbilly restoration. See these tabs? Gaskets are all orange. All they did was pull the motor out and paint it probably. But this is a 327 four-speed convertible. I think there's room there. Yeah, yeah, there's definitely room in that one. Again, I'd try to talk him down, but you know how kind of my standard there. If I can talk him down 2 grand and make another 2 grand on top of that, I'd be happy. So yeah, I think it would bring I think it'd bring 20, 22. I think anything under 25, I think you could probably shoot for 25 and get somebody to offer you 23.5 for it or something like that. I think there's definitely some money to be made there. And if you could talk them down 2 grand, there's 5 grand to be made on that one. Yeah, I don't think you'd be out of line. Yeah, see, here's another one. Let's take a look at this. See, this is an automatic car and it's asking 23. So, yeah, I don't think you're out of line asking 25 for a four-speed car in close to the same condition as this one. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Well, Missouri. That's probably going to have some good amount of rust. Let's see here. Yeah, you can see the whole seam is rotted out right here. I don't know. It's still GTO, and it's still all in one piece. This one's a close one. Bottom of the doors are rusted out. Have another good door and glass. Yeah, I don't know. This one, if I was, If you lived close, this would be worth going and at least looking at. And of course, I think you could still talk them down 1,000 or so, 1,000 or 2. Um, but yeah, the floor I have a feeling is going to be rusted. He said the window's busted out, so the floor is going to be rusted here. Um, but still, these 70 GTOs are bringing the money. I think people are sleeping on these GTOs here. But these new GTOs, I mean, you're finding them running and driving for under 10, you know, and I think that's a good buy. Kind of the last of the Pontiacs. See, on something like this is perfect. See, this is what I like to see. If it's going to have damage, see, you can talk them down because of this damage, but you can take this to a good upholsterer and they'll just re-sew that seam. Um, so that's not a big deal. But something like this, offer them 6,500 and just enjoy it for a little while, and let the market come back on these because I think I think people are kind of asleep on those. Oh, here's a unique one. Look at this. All right, 65 Grand Prix, 426. I like these Grand Prix. I like the full size. You know that about me. I like the full size ones. And it's a 4 speed. Check that out. 4 speed bucket seat car. Nice. These are pretty rare. They didn't build very many of these. Oh man, look at that. See, I'd be a player on this in an 8 grand. As you can see, look at the floors are shot. Yeah, I don't know. The problem is rare doesn't equal value. You know what I mean? And so just because, well, he even says right here, only a couple hundred were built. I don't know if there's only a couple hundred. I think there's more than that. Minus the tri-power, someone robbed off of it for a 4 barrel intake. No title either. Ugh. Gum. That's tough because I'm a huge fan. I really like these, but I think that's every bit of money for that thing that you could possibly squeeze out of it. There's no meat on the bone. Not if you're replacing floors and you're having to get a title and you're missing the tri-power. Oh man. But man, look at that. That would be a cool one. And it would be unique. Not everybody has one. I think that this would be a fun car. But again, not at that price. I honestly I'd be down to maybe 6, 7,000 when it's missing the title. You got rocker panel, you got a lot of body work to do. But when it's done, I'd say you're in the 30 to 40 range for if it was done right. If it was done driver style, just a driver status, which is what I would do, honestly. I am not one of those that wants to put it on a rotisserie and do all that crap. I ain't got time for that. But, I mean, even the paint shot on it, you still got to put a paint job. So you're 5 grand in a paint job. Call it 10 grand with the body work. If you got it for 10, it's 16. Plus, you still got to put the motor in. Yeah, there's just not much room. Not enough room on that one. Plus, like me, I'd have to go all the way to Georgia to pick it up. Yeah, I'd want to be in it at 5 to 6. But that's still a cool car, nonetheless. You don't see many of those around. I like stuff like this too. Not for 5 grand, more like 2,500 to 3 grand. But the reason why is because it's got the old 455 in it. Make sure your wife. I love it. I put this on some of mine too. You know, nothing I hate worse than somebody spending an hour or two looking at one of my cars and saying, "Okay, let me go talk to my wife about it." Whatever, man. Get approval from your wife before you show up. That's a pet peeve of mine for sure. Um, Starting a dry building. Oh, nice interior though. Look at that nice interior. I think most of that paint would buff nicely. I don't know. These are not very common. Obviously, if it was a two door, yeah, I'd drop 5 grand on it in a heartbeat. But being a four door, I'd want to be in it a little bit less. I like that it has the original hubcaps, 455. This thing would be a cruiser, though. This would seriously be a highway bomber. I like this one a lot. Oh, here's a rare one. They didn't make very many of these. This is the last year for Pontiac, and in my opinion, this is the best looking Solstice they made. Was this fastback look? Um, but 22, yeah, I don't know. I'm torn on these. I think they're going to go up. Um, I don't think they're going to go down, and they're hard to find. But I definitely wouldn't touch an automatic. But you do not see very many of those in the wild. That is for sure. What a unique car. If I was to get one of these, though, it'd have to be the manual transmission and a GPX trim package. Yeah, you just do not see those around at all. Let's just type that in and see if something comes up. 2009 Solstice. Yeah, there's another one right there. Did yeah. But if you notice, that's the only one. See, they made a couple of convertibles in 2009. Most of them were convertibles, but to actually find a hardtop one, see with that fastback look, and I think they're all right around that lower 20 range, just under between 20 and 25,000. That's another automatic one. Let's see. GXP, yeah. Did I say GPX earlier? I meant GXP, yeah. Okay, so one of only 1,268 ever built, and only 849 GXPs. See, there was not very many of these. If you guys ever wanted a little two-seater sports car to sit on, it'd be this one. But I wouldn't get an automatic unless, for some reason you just had to have an automatic one. But 849 of them were ever built. I think these are, unfortunately, you're going to have to sit on it for quite a while, though, to because they've been hovering right around that low 20,000 range for, geez, for the last at least 5, 6 years. And the convertible ones just don't bring as much. See, it's a 2009 for 16 and it's a convertible. It's these fastback ones that are in the GXP. I just click on this one. Yeah, this is the one I clicked on already. But I tell you what, those are some unique cars, and a fun little car if you're interested. But just for some sheer collector standpoint, I would try to go for the that hard top fastback one, and it would have to be a GXP with a 5 speed, or were they 5 speed or 6 speed? I think they were 6 speeds. Either way, with the manual transmission. But yeah, there's none around. Let's type in a different location and see what we come up with here. Um, you notice I'm always trying to find places that are rust and rust free. Yeah, here's one. Oh, he's 130 on this one. Manual transmission, COK suspension, which is that race suspension, and it is a GXP. That's the one right there. Man, that's only 18,000 miles. That's at the upper end, though. I don't think there's any more money to be made on that thing right now. But if you wanted to buy and hold, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised on the return on these of one day. So we're in Vegas. Let's try something else here. 1965. $1,500 Galaxy convertible XL. There's a fastback, but it's 23. I think this one is a good one. This one would be an easy flip. Wouldn't take much to make this nice. 289 automatic, red and white. I think that's with white interior. Yeah. So yeah, you can get these kits to recover these seats pretty cheap. Door panels are cheap. Everything on this thing is pretty cheap. You can get another radio, but it has the expensive, hard to find parts, which is the center console. I'd get rid of this steering wheel. Put one of those wood steering wheels in it. I think if you recovered the seats, um, put the door panels in it, put a radio in it, freshen up the interior, and um, and just painted the roof. See, the roof's got rust, all on it. So just shoot a quick coat of paint on the roof, put a bumper on it. I think it'd bring 10, 12, 12.5. I'd start at 12.5, I think. Put door handles back on it. Half that stuff's probably sitting in the trunk of the car anyway. Um, yeah, yeah, I think it's another good one. This was another one that I found when I was searching. Again, these two-door is big behemoth highway cruisers, a 72 Continental for 2,500. See, it wouldn't take much to clean this up. I mean, people show this. Look at the floor mats on the seats. I mean, come on. Half this crap you just throw in the trash. The other half you clean it up, and you can make this interior look a lot better than that. See this, all that surface mold there? Just clean this up and wash the car for Pete's sake. That would do miracles to this car. I mean, it's kind of silly, but I don't know how much room is in that one. Here's a cool one. Okay, so let's talk about motorcycles. All right. So 81 Goldwing. I love these gold wings. These gold wings were built like tanks and will run forever. And when I mean forever, I mean forever. All you gotta do is keep the carbs cleaned. So, and alternators. Alternators is the other thing that these things are kind of notorious for. But I have I've seen these things on on the ice road truckers highway going up to the Arctic Circle. Um, and you could buy these for $1,000. You could ride this all summer long, and you're never going to lose money on that thing. So, yeah, those a lot of people sleep on these 80s and I'd say 80s gold wings, and they're becoming quite collectible. I mean, there's people out there that want all this chrome trim and all this luggage rack stuff. All this chrome rack and these bags. Man, people are starting to pay big money to get those. And this one's a nice color. It's black with gold stripes. I don't think it would take much to clean this up and make this a runner. Um, and on motorcycles, you're not talking thousands of dollars returned. Motorcycles are more for, like I said, buy it, ride it for the summer, and then sell it, right, put it up for sale in August or something like that, and get rid of it before winter hits. August, September, late August, September. That's about when I usually sell my motorcycles. And you got people out there that still want to ride for the summer. But I bet you could get 15 to $1,800 for this, cleaned up and running good. So that's one. Here's another one I saved. Um, yeah. So okay, so these things are ugly boxes, but I tell you what, they have a huge following, and I'm a fan of these things. These things have so much interior room. Um, this thing starts runs. It's an all-wheel drive one, which is what you want for, especially here in Colorado. Um, and I don't think there's much wrong with this. If I remember right. I just think it's kind of I'm a little shocked at the price. Well, it's only been on there for 3 hours, so I literally found this one right before I started recording. So if you guys want a good deal on a Honda Element, here it is, $2,200. Fort Collins, Colorado. Yeah, that's a good deal. That's about, I'd say 1,000. I'd say 1,000 to 1,500 under value without doing anything. Oh, that's what it was. The busted tail light. Let me go to that. Let's see here. So it has a crunch here, which you can easily find these. there's a lot of people parting these elements out. So you could find that if you wanted to, and then get rid of this tape. This is so stupid. Just spend $50 on eBay or whatever and buy a new tail light and get rid of that. That's just lame. That's just stupid. But other than that, man, I tell you what, that's a good deal. I think that's a good deal. There's money on the table for that one. There's at least 1,500 or more. Um, oh shoot, I really messed up there, didn't I? Let's see. Go here, buying, saved, and then okay. So I want to skip ahead a little bit. Don't sleep on parts either. Here's a prime example. As some of you guys know, I'm big into Ford trucks. I'm always looking for Ford truck parts. This was a C6 4x4 for a small block Ford. So it'll fit 351 Windsor, it'll fit a 302, it'll fit an inline six, um, and has the married T case adapter to it, and it's only 150 bucks. To rebuild these is only a couple $100. It doesn't cost much, but man, I'm telling you, these are getting harder to find. So don't sleep on parts. Snap those up if you can too. Anyway, going back to this one, I thought this was a fair deal. After looking at the other one, I'd go with the other one, but this one is a four-speed 289 car as well, but it unfortunately has more rust in it than I would care to deal with myself. Um, but that's a steering wheel I was telling you about that I like the wood steering wheel. Um, But yeah, look at the floor, man. Yeah, it needs pans, and then I'd be worried that it's going to need torque boxes. You'd have to look at this one pretty close before I'd make a decision to buy that one. But I think he's in the money pretty deep on that one. Um, and then this one was kind of cool. All right, so this is a good deal. And the reason why this one's unique is it's got the six-speed manual transmission. You don't see many of these with the manuals in them anymore. They're getting harder to find. The Voodoo Blue is obviously a huge popular, um, highly sought after. It is a little bit on the high mileage, but I think that's the reason why it's under 10 grand too. So um, there's there's getting to be quite the following for these. And then because it's an Arizona car, you shouldn't have to worry about. Obviously, you got to confirm all this stuff, but you shouldn't have to worry about frame rot. These are kind of notorious for frame rot in the on the eastern coast. But this one would be good, and it's got the king coilovers. You're looking at a couple of grand just in king coilovers. So I think that's a good buy. And then this, if you're in Tucson, Arizona area, I'd just swing by and pick this up. These GT40P heads, 302s are the best 302s you can get. Um, If you're doing an old hot rod, just rip off the intake and go old school carburetor. But having these 302s are great motors. So if you can snap that up for a little bit of nothing, I'd do that. But I think that's about it. I really think that the man, this is tempting. I think this is the money right here. This one, was it this one? No, I didn't save the one that I think it was in. It was this one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, four speed. I think that one is good. That one's definitely good for some several thousands of dollars. Um, I think I'd want to play with this one just for the heck of it, just because it's something different. And look at how clean that interior is. Dang, cool ride. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I'm gonna let you go. I think we found close to 10 grand worth of deals today. So they're out there. Deals are out there, guys. Keep looking. Let me know if there's something you would like me to look for specifically. If you're into a certain kind of car that you'd like me to look for, just post it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to find them. $5,000 Firebird, that ain't too bad, and it's a four-speed. Has an automatic in it now. Oh, three whopping pictures. How stupid. 69 Pontiac, 400 Pontiac engine, not original. Factory four-speed car. Has an automatic in it now, but the pedals are in there. I have a Muncie four-speed. Yeah, I would get the four-speed. That one's probably worth 5 grand. 'Cause that's a clean body. Yeah, I would see if you can convince them to get 5 grand with the four-speed and put the four-speed back in it. Then you got a $10,000 car. Easy. Well, there you go. There's another one. All right, guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.